Hello and good evening. A very beautiful evening to you wherever you are. From the studios of Hope Channel Ghana, the show is Love at Home. Here we discuss issues pertaining to the family. When it is time like this, I am so glad because I know you and your family are also seated because you are going to be discussing about the family. Today I want to be discussing the topic which is critical. The question is, what is value or what are values? We all have certain values that we normally want to uphold on to. Certain families would have certain types of values that they would want to hold on to, no matter what it is. We want to be discussing passing on cherished family values. Is it really important? How do we maintain? How do we transfer these values? How do we hold them? And how do we relate them in today's world? This and many more discussions we'll be having today. I am Efia Sewa Mansa. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce you to my guest for the day. Please remember to call in your friends that it is time. Yes, time has so because every family is seated. Join us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on all our social media handles. You can join the discussion on 0559-680066 by sharing your questions, your comments, and your contributions. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
Hope Channel is my favorite Christian channel. The best thing about this is that you can have it everywhere you go. All you need to do is to download the Hope Channel app on your Play Store or Apple Store and get all the programs you want to watch.
Thank you so much for not leaving the dial. The show is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. You can join us on your phone or on your set by online or any media. Remember that the TV or Hope Channel is free to air now. So call in the next family member. Tell them that it is time. Let's all start to be discussing about issues bothering the family. Today I have on my far left, I have a very beautiful woman. She's a learned person. Yes, she's an educationist. And so I guess she knows what we are going to talk about. So please, do not leave us. Join us. Her name is Mrs. Agnes Sapon. And I affectionately call her Auntie Agi. Mama Agi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, how are you?
Fine by His grace.
No, Agi, I can't hear you. I hope you are fine.
I'm fine by His
fine.
grace.
Amen. How was the traffic condition today?
Oh, fine.
It was fine. We give God the glory.
Amen.
So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And my next very guest is lawyer Isaac Akwante. Lawyer.
Yes, madam.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, how was your day?
Oh, great.
Great. You did my lord, and all that today, I guess.
Yes.
All right, okay. So to you out there, you are welcome, and we are discussing passing on cherished family values. This is what we are discussing today. Let me start with you, lawyer. When we say values, for that matter, family values, what exactly are we talking about?
Okay, family values, we are talking about a set of beliefs regarding right and wrong.
Okay.
So we are talking, when we talk about family values, we are talking about moral values that the family hold in esteem.
Okay.
And so the beliefs of the family in terms of what is wrong and what is right.
Okay.
That is what we call family values.
All right.
Mm.
All right. Auntie, you want to add something, or you're okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, all right. So we know what values are, and we also know what family values also are. But what are some of the core family values that we normally highlight?
Okay, we can talk about integrity. We can talk about love. We can talk about compassion. And for us Christians, for us Seventh-day Adventists, for example, you remember that when Paul was talking in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 22, he gave the values, he gave a set of values, virtues that we need to, you see, follow.
Okay.
And according to him, he said, if you follow those virtues, there are no laws again that you see that are binding on you.
Okay.
So Galatians 5:22, love, peace, meekness, and all those things that are set up there. So those are also core values.
Wow.
That people hold in esteem. So as a Christian family, we also have those values that we hold in esteem, printed in Galatians 5:22.
Okay. Okay. So they are not just because they are in the Bible.
No.
Okay.
They are family values. They are values for the Christian family, as it were.
Okay. If we say Christian family, so if I'm a non-Christian, I can also go by that, right?
Yeah, you can. But you see, we are talking about family. We are talking about family. So you see, when we talk about a family, we are talking about more than people who are more than two.
Okay.
The mother, the father, the children, and then those who are related, the children's children.
Okay.
You see, they form the family. And so we can also have a family of Christians. We can have a family of people who are in a society, a particular society. They have the same beliefs and they have the same aspirations and they do things in common. They can also become a family.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Auntie Agi, let's help us to understand, how can we manifest these values in our everyday life?
We can do so through our actions. We are a family, we are in the house. What do we say? And what do we do? Because whatever we do or say, our children, they see and they hear. So it is through our activities, the things that we do, what we tell our children. Through these values manifest themselves.
And I want you to share a practical example with us. If you say, what do we do? What do we say? And how different would it be to our child? What exactly are you talking about?
When I say, what do we do? Like if you are a parent and you are hardworking, you are hardworking. You are teaching your children also to be hardworking.
Okay.
If there's something to be done, you do it. You call them also to do what you are doing. And when I talk about what we say, the words that come out of our mouth, do we speak angry words or unwholesome words in the house? Maybe with our husbands or I'm talking about the spouses. How do we talk to each other? Because our children, they are learning from us. So if they see that we are always at each other's neck, they are also learning. So that's what I'm saying, that what we do and what we say, our actions manifest the values that we want our children also to learn.
So if I understand you, then you are trying to say something like, if a mother, for example, a parent, tells a child, don't lie, but somebody is coming to look for him or her.
And
And you say, oh, go and tell that woman, Mama, no, that I am not there. Meanwhile, the person is there.
Yeah.
What exactly are we teaching the child?
You are teaching that it's like
You are telling the child
not to lie.
Yes.
But you are lying.
Yes.
So the child will even be confused.
Okay.
Which one is correct?
Okay.
So if we are saying that you are teaching the child not to lie, then you, the parent, you shouldn't lie. Let the child know the right thing, because we want the children to learn the right thing. But when we say the right thing and then we do otherwise, then it means we are not helping the children.
Okay. Well, I want to add something.
So you will see that, as he's saying, children, they learn by experience. You see, children learn by experience, so that if the child is with the parents, whatever they are doing, they are learning.
Observation.
They learn by observing. Sometimes they learn intuitively also, and sometimes they learn by seeing. Sometimes they learn through the five senses. So anything that we are doing, even when we are sleeping with them, they are learning from us. So even the breathing that we are breathing, you see, they are learning something from it.
My breathing that I am breathing.
Yes, they are learning. So you see, I'm saying that children learn through the five senses.
Oh, okay.
The five senses, you know, we have the touch, then we have the feeling, then we have the
hearing,
the hearing,
the smelling,
and the smelling.
all
So sometimes the young children, they smell from their mothers, and when the mother approaches them, they know that is my mother. You see, because so they learn through all the five senses. And so anything that we are doing, you see, sometimes we think the children have not seen, but they are learning through all the senses that they have. And so everything that we are doing, they are learning from us. Apart from that, characters and behaviors are formed by the interaction of nature and nurture. Nature is the environment, you see, and nature is what God gives us,
inborn.
so that those things that the child is born with, and then the nurture is the environment, how we bring them, the training. The nature is the environment. So you will see that the two will interact. It is the nature and the nurture that will determine the behavior and the character of the child.
Okay.
So the nature, the very essence of our being, something within you, you see, as a father, the things that you do, the things that are hidden, your genes and all of that, forms part of the child's behavior. And then the training that you give him and the environment where he is, the training that he receives, where the environment where he lives also impinges on his behavior. So that anything that we are doing, the children are learning.
Wow. Now, let's look at in what ways do cultural or regional backgrounds influence these family values that we are talking about? Auntie Aggie.
Our culture and religious backgrounds.
Cultural and regional backgrounds.
Region or religion?
Regional. Where we are coming from.
Okay. Yeah. You know, we have different tribes, and then we have different cultures. So our children, when we let the children know, we help the children to know our culture, then they will also learn something from this culture. It's like we have some tribes which are, let me use maybe the Equapim. We say that they respect.
Okay.
They are respectful.
Okay.
And then we have some tribes which are known to be hardworking and those things. So if you are from that tribe, you will have to let the children know that in our tribe or in our culture, this is what we do. These are the things that we do. And the children, when you continue to tell them and then you exhibit, it's not just telling them, but you do something for them to understand. At times we have this Akwambo, we have festivals in our hometowns, and maybe you are in Accra. You have stayed here for so many years. You've given birth to your children, but they don't know anything about these festivals. So you once in a while, maybe you take the children to your hometown when there is these occasions, so that they will also be part of it. And it brings about togetherness, it brings about unity. So as we let them know what is happening, they will be learning from it. Family togetherness, and it will help them. So like the culture, our regions, we have different festivals and cultural activities that go on, which we need our children to know, so that they will learn something from it.
True.
And so you see, when you talk about culture, you are talking about practices that are based on the belief system of a group of people. You see, what the people believe is what they normally practice. So every family, for example, has a set of beliefs, and so they do things according to those beliefs, and those are what we call culture. So you will see that, as I said, the culture, the culture impinges on the behavior of the members of the family, and it's also determined by the environment in which they are. So you will see the culture of a people is determined by, you see, their set of beliefs, which is also part of the environment of the people. So you see, so when somebody is in Ghana, and then you transport him to Europe, for example, you see, he's a Ghanaian, he's born and bred here, you go to Europe, you see, the environment impinges on his behavior, and then because of that, you will see that the things that you'll be doing will be different from, you see, what pertains here. Even though, for example, he's an Ashanti, he's a Ghana here, the things that they do here, as soon as he travels outside and goes there, the environment there, the things that he learns there, you see, imposes a conflict on what he already knows. And so there's a conflict, and you will see that he will start learning from the new environment. And he becomes used to the new environment, and most of the behaviors or the character that is produced is related to where he is. And so you will see that immigration, for example, determines, you see, the behavior, or it determines the behavior of the person who has immigrated. You see, So we can talk about education, we can talk about immigration, we can talk about environment as factors that determines, you see, whether or not we shall be glued to a particular family legacy or a particular family virtue, as it were. So sometimes the things that we learn in our environment, our small environment, the things that we learn from the family, is when you go to school, the school environment changes everything. There's a conflict between what we learn at home and then what we are learning at the school. The friends that we engage at the school environment, for example, they can influence us to change our behavior and character. They can influence us to change the family legacy that we have led. You understand? So the environment, as I've said, is so critical when determining whether or not the family legacy or the family virtues will be cultivated in us.
Okay, so lawyer, you were saying that migration can be a factor for these values to be changed.
Yes.
But when that person is moved again from that environment and is brought back to the old or the initial background environment, is that going to affect that person?
Yes. The moment you see, the moment you are in Accra here, the moment you move from Accra to maybe a village, a very remote village, you will see that all the things that you have learned and you see, and the environment, the new environment that you have been transported to, there's a conflict. So you want to maintain the values that you have, but at the same time, you will see that you are challenged because of your new environment. So in the you see, in the evolving situation, you see, if you are not careful, you will change completely to the new environment. But there are certain factors that can also help you to maintain your values. If you are so glued to your values, you are so bonded to the family values, and you have inculcated the family values so well, then of course, like the Hebrew boys who went to Babylon, you know that they were not prepared to. They were even in the king's house, but they were not prepared to eat the king's food. Even though it was very attractive, and one may say that it was even better than, you see, but because of what they've learned before, because of how good, because of how what should I say? Because of how they have learned the values so well, they were not prepared to change. But there was naturally a conflict. There was a conflict, but they were not prepared to change because they have learned their values, the family values so well that they will not budge. So that is what I'm talking about.
Now, Auntie Agi, in the family, who are the key family members, and what will be their roles in bringing up these values in the family?
When we talk about key family members, we know we have the father, the mother, and then the children. And then we have aunties and uncles. There are some, maybe a child loses one of the parents, the father or the mother. Somebody from the family can take charge of that child. So the key members are those people who take charge of the children. It can be your biological parents, or an auntie, an uncle, a grandparent, or somebody who is ready to take charge when there is maybe a problem, or if even there's no problem and that person wants to help, the person can do so. So all these people contribute what we call the key family members.
Yeah, I ask this because you realize that, for example, if somebody has traveled outside the country and he or she leaves his or her child with somebody, then because the child didn't stay with their biological parents, sometimes you see that when they are brought together, they are not able to coexist. Even though that person might be coming from the same family, the same big family that they are coming from. What are some of the reasons why some of this happen, lawyer?
So you see, if you ask me, the main key members of the family, the mother, for example, you see, the mother, we are told, is the first teacher of the child, the mother. And like you are saying, sometimes you have surrogate mothers who are not the biological mothers. And sometimes some of them don't have you see, the love that the mothers do have, and they don't have the care that the actual mothers do have, you understand? So the key members in the family, you will talk about the mother, you talk about the father, then we talk about every family. If you enter any family, there are opinion leaders or they are key members. Those who have a say. The principal members are people who are the mentors in the family. In every family, you have mentors. When they speak, then everybody
keeps quiet.
Yes, keep quiet. And then when they direct, everybody follows. You see, those are the key members of the family. And as we are saying, every child looks up to one person or the other in the family. It may be his mother. It may be, as I'm saying, the opinion leader or a mentor in the family. All the children, they look up to one particular person in the family. And they want to benchmark that person, or they want to be like that person, because either that they have good characters, they have good reputation, or they have made it in life, as it were.
Okay. So normally, these people that we are calling them mentors or whatever, are they themselves aware that these children are really watching, waiting on them, or want to be like them, by so doing putting their lifestyles in good shape?
Whether they know or not, whether they are conscious or not, you see, the fact of the matter is that the children in the family, they are looking up to some members of the family. They want to identify with certain persons within the family. And then more so, you will see that everybody will want to benchmark, or everybody will want to emulate somebody who has a good reputation, somebody who has made it, somebody who has gone, you see, who has gone who has gone the extra mile, you see, to, as it were, crave a niche for himself, or crave a name or reputation for himself. So that people are looking, the members, the children are looking up to such persons in the family.
Now, Auntie again, supposing in a perfect family, there's a mother, there's a father, and then the children. What will be their various roles? What will be the role of the mother in these values that we want to instill in the children? And what will be the roles of the father as well?
We know that, we said that the father, when we take in a Christian, or if even in every family, the father is the priest of the family. And it is his responsibility to make sure that the children get whatever they need. He has a responsibility of training the children in a way that the children will get to know God, and then they will learn good values.
All right.
The father doesn't leave everything. In some homes, the fathers, because of their work and other things, they don't play that role very well. And if they do not do that, it affects the children. And the mother too is there to educate the children. The mother, in most times, the mothers are more often, they are with the children. So they have to also make sure that they educate the children as to what is right and what is wrong. As a mother, when you are, let's say you are cooking, you don't expect your child to sleep whilst you are cooking. If even you have a boy and a girl, you make sure that both of them do the work that is expected of each of them. We don't have, when we make these roles, that these are boys' roles, these are girls, at times it doesn't go well with some of them. the boy, if even the girl is not there, he says, so this work is not for me. And if he refuses to do the work, then it means you, the mother, has to do it, or the girl has to do it. And the girl will also say, oh, this work is not for me. And it will, so the mother has to make sure that whatever needs to be done must be done by whether all of them, whether you are a boy or a girl. And there are other things. I use this as an example. Yes. So the mother, like lawyer said the first classroom is the home, and the mother is the first teacher. So you have to teach the children so many things that will help them to obtain these good values that will help them in their future lives.
Okay. Now, lawyer, I'm asking the same question but in a different way.
Okay.
You realize that these days in our societies, we have some men who do not want to have anything to do with responsibility. Anything that has to make them responsible, they try to shun out of it. Could that be that, or is it possible that along the line, some of these things were probably not taught? Same as some women. Is it possible?
Yes, as I have already explained, that you see, behavior is determined by nature and then training, environment. You see, so that when a child is born, the child is born almost empty. Almost empty. Apart from the things that God has given him. Yeah. So even those things that God has given him, he will have to, you have to be trained to make sure that those virtues come out properly. You see. So the training is very, very essential. So that if you are born and you are born to parents who do not train you properly, who will just indulge you and make sure that sometimes other children are even brought into the house to do menial jobs, to do the jobs that the children should be trained to do. And then they are always sleeping, they are always lazing around. They will grow and then they will become irresponsible. You see. So the things that we have to learn at our youth, our youthful days, you see, when we are very young, if you don't learn them at those stages, and then we grow, a time comes that we are not able to learn those things again. So there's time for everything, as the Bible says, there's time for everything. So when a child is born, the developmental stages, at every stage, there are things to be done. So that if the period that the child is supposed to learn those things, he doesn't learn them, then he overgrows that stage. Then it becomes a problem. So there are people who were so much indulged by their parents, such that they were not properly trained to use their hands and their legs to do anything. They are not properly trained to even use their minds to do so many things.
Or interact with other people.
The human body, the psychologists and the doctors will tell you that the human body is made up of 3 parts. The head, which is the cognitive part. Then from here to from the neck up to the legs, we call it the affective part. And then the hands and the legs, they call it psychomotor. Psychomotor, you see. So you will see that some people use their brains. You see, they learn to use their brains. Some people learn to use the psychomotor, the hands and the legs. Some people learn to use the heart, the affective part. So you will see that some people, they are always singing. You see, they are always you see, encouraging people to, as it were, celebrate and then do love activities and all that. Those are the affective people. Then there are people who are also thinking very fast. They are using their brains. You see the doctors, the people in academia and all of that, they are always cracking their brains and bringing out new things. You see, then we have those who are running, playing football, you see, doing other, you see, they are using their hands and legs. So that every child is supposed to, you see, every child is supposed to develop one of these departments, one of these 3 departments, so that the parents and the family must make sure that the child who is born is able to develop in one of these departments. You see, if you are not using your cognitive part of the body, then you must use the affective. If you are not using the affective, you must use the psychomotor. If you don't use any of these 3, then you will see that you are irresponsible. You are just there. There are some people who are just like that. They are just there. Because no training, you see, they are not using their hands, they are not using their brains, they are not using their affective part. They are just there. You see, so those are the people that you are saying they are irresponsible.
Yes, my lovely viewer, we need to go for a commercial break. But when we come back, we would want to know how come a child will see an adult and will rain, for example, insults, or will not show respect, or will not even get up for that elderly person to sit. What has been missing? Remember, we are discussing passing on family cherished values. We'll go for a break. When we come back, we continue that discussion. Thank you.
Hello guys, I welcome you all to Gospel 101 TV show. My name is Selassie Evelyn, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this uplifting journey into the heart of gospel music and inspiration. What you made ye yet de ekuko down. Get ready for a television show that will challenge, uplift, and remind you of the incredible power of God. The show will boss say, yet the life-changing stories.
We are not going to marry when we go to heaven. It is very true. But if we are not careful, our body is heaven.
Good music videos. So tell a friend to tell another friend, say, Gospel 101 Jumedieno has come. It is not just a show, it is going to be an experience.
Gospel 101, showing this and every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Hope TV.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for not leaving us. I'm glad you are still joining us, and we are still discussing passing family values, treasured values to the next generation. It is important. Now, we were asking Auntie Agi to tell us how come we see some children, even though they might be grown, you see them exhibiting some characters that are not supposed to be mentioned. For example, you are in a moving vehicle, you see that an older person is standing, the child is seated. And in our time, nobody will ask you to get up. But now it is not like that. What has changed? Is it that today's parents are not being taught, today's children are not being taught, or they are just refusing to learn? Auntie Aggie, the question is for you. You are an educationist and you are a mother. I want to understand what is happening.
Okay. I will not say that today's children are not being taught. We cannot generalize that. In some homes, the children are being taught. In other homes, they are not being taught. At times, like you say, you may be in the trot or some, and a child will sit down, will be sitting, and then maybe an elderly person will be standing.
Because we have all paid.
Yes, yes, that is what I'm going to say. If even the mother is there, the mother thinks the child has paid. So since the child has paid, the child has to sit. There are some other mothers, they paid for the child, but they will even tell the child to stand up for the elderly person. So this child, next time, if he or she is alone in a bus and that same thing happens, nobody will tell the child to stand up for that elderly woman because she has had that experience. And we have some people, they don't even have time. We are always running after money, our work
and career.
So they don't have time to sit the child down to talk about some of these things. And we like lawyer said, the environment changes people. There are people, some of these children may be taught, but when they go out there to meet their friends, what these friends also do, maybe you meet a friend who has not been taught anything, and then they will learn from this, they will leave their good values and then learn from some of these children. So it is very important for us to continue to teach our children, to train them in a way that will help them, because all these things help the children when they are grown. When they are grown. So what I would say is, in some cases, they are not being taught. And there are some children who are not being taught in the home, but they also have friends who have been taught, and they also learn from them.
Okay.
So some learn in the negative way, some also learn in the positive way.
Okay.
And what did you say again?
Okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, lawyer, you see, the question that I asked, I'm sure somebody will say the child has rights. In this era, how do we marry the rights of our child, the rights of parents, vis-a-vis values that pertains to a certain group of people? How do we marry this?
You see, so you will see that the children, because of population explosion and urbanization, the child is no more limited to the home. You see, so what the child learns at home, he goes to school and he learns a different thing, and there's a conflict. He goes out and then he experiences different things, and there's a conflict. So you will see that we can only marry the virtues when the society and the state, for example, the things that the children are taught in school, you see, it should coincide with the things that we teach them at home.
Okay.
Otherwise, there will always be conflict. Because you learn at home, you go to school, you are taught the opposite. You see, how are you going to exhibit the behaviors of the things that you are taught in the house? You see, and the child is no more limited to the house. You see, the child is now in a global village. He's watching things on television and on his
on the phone.
On the cell phone. And so he gets to know so many things. He's interacting with almost the whole world. Children from other dispensations and all of that. So you will see that there will always be conflict. So we can only marry only money what you are talking about. When you see there's a conscious effort from the state that these are virtues that we as a country we want to, as it were, yes, uphold. And then the things that we are learning at school, even the curriculum that we are using to teach our children, we will make sure that we are going to tailor them or measure them in such a way that the children will become disciplined and very responsible. Otherwise, how many hours does the child spend in the home? You see, now with urbanization and schooling and all of that, as he said, most of the parents don't even have time in the home, and they spend very limited time with the children at home, and most of the time is spent either in school or outside the house. You understand? So that if you want to go back to those things that we learned those days, then we need, you see now lawyers are now many. When we finish law school, when you go to court, when the senior lawyer, you are seated and the senior lawyer comes, you get up and then you will come. The senior lawyer will do his case and leave before you so that you will learn from him. These days you go to court, the young ones, they are many, they outnumber even the old ones. You go to court and then they are seated. They don't care. They think that they are also lawyers.
Are all lawyers.
They are all lawyers. They are also qualified. And the one thing is that you see, because now we are many, they think that if they don't force their way through, they will not even have the opportunity. They will not even have the opportunity because the whole day you will be there, his case will not be called. You see, because we are now many. And it's the same way. You see, the children think that if they don't, as we are saying, if they don't insist on their rights, they will be left behind. Or they will lose the things that they are supposed to get. You understand? So now they are competing with the old ones, as it were. So it's now a competition. The children are competing with their parents. They are competing with the elderly. You see, because times are hard.
Auntie Aggie, this thing you're talking about is becoming more serious than I thought. Yes, it is. Now, let's look at, in our cultures, we have certain ceremonies that we do. For example, during wedding, during outdooring and all that. How do we depict these values from these gatherings? How can these values, the treasured values that the families will normally uphold, how do we see them through these family activities?
You mentioned weddings.
Weddings, graduations, family gatherings, it can be
naming ceremonies
and all that.
During weddings, family members come and support. Maybe the aunties, uncles, and even grandparents and those people, they come and support whoever is getting married. Or during graduation and these naming ceremonies, they come. And when they, at times it depends upon the person who is getting married. Maybe that family, they are good. They like people. They have personal, good interpersonal relationship with each other in the family. So you see that many of them, hey, kwesi ware. So everybody would like to come and support. In some other cases, they wouldn't come as they came to Kwesi's wedding, depending upon maybe the character of that family. And when they come, it's like we learn something from it. Brings about unity. There is togetherness. When somebody is naming the child and the people come, they will come and help. Even in this wedding, they will come and cook. Everybody want to do something for the person getting married to know that, oh, my auntie or my aunt, yes. So they come, and all these things help us. It helps us to know that we love each other.
Okay.
So there is that value of love and kindness. Some will bring in some gifts for those who are getting married or graduating. So they will bring in gifts and all this. That also show kindness. So if it has been done for Kwesi, Kwesi will also, Kwesi has learned something from it. So next time, if it is Adwa's turn or somebody's turn, maybe they will also do that same thing. And it helps to bring the family together. There is unity.
Okay.
That is what
Like,
some
I want
of
to add
these things
something.
that
Okay.
will come.
All right. Okay. So now let's look at in the olden days. For example, I remember my grandmother used to call myself, and my cousins. Then they'll be telling us stories. Stories of Ntekuma, Kwekua Nancy, and all that. These were figurative, I guess. But there were some interesting storylines and some special values that these stories were portraying. Now, I guess today it will be difficult to call children of today with the emergence of mobile phones when they are busy pressing their stuff to tell them, like, come and sit down, I'm telling you, Kwekua Nancy. They will even laugh at you. How else can we share these values that the older folks were sharing with us, with our children today?
Okay, so you will see that when we were young, like we were saying, some of them were myths. They were telling us myths.
Yes.
And then we believe all of them because we were young and we were vulnerable. But you see now...
Why are you using the word vulnerable, lawyer? Don't bring down your term here. we were not vulnerable.
We were not.
You see, we were believing things that now is very difficult to believe, you see. So the point is that now, if you want to inculcate family values, we have to find a way of doing them, you see. Even now, when we were young, you see, people will come to the village crusade. They will come and preach, and then they will inculcate in us. Yes, they will see family. But now, they are not going to the villages anymore. You will see that now because of technology, TV programs, and then all those. So now we have to find a way of, you see, inculcating these values through the new media that we have. You see, the media that we have now, that the children are so used to, the phone, the television, the video, and all those things. Those are the things that can help us to, as it were. As for the festivals, yes, the festivals are there. If they will refine them so that it will be able to attract the children, fine. Then those ones are also possible. Otherwise, if you want to use the old method of telling stories, Kwekua Nancy stories now, I don't think you will make any headway.
I think, like as Christians, we can also use Bible stories.
Thank you.
We can use Bible stories. In the mornings, we have our devotions. Evenings, too, we have our devotions. We can choose a character from the Bible, and then we discuss with the children.
Okay.
And then you ask after the story, you let the child tell you what he or she has learned from that story.
Okay.
So through these things too, we will be able to, it will not be Kwekua Nancy's story, but it will serve the same purpose.
Okay.
So we shouldn't leave our children alone. And even at times, these films that we watch, there are good things that we learn from some of these
movies.
Yes,
Now,
so
you can have a family movie. Okay.
And then you after that, not every movie can be watched by
every age group.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can have, like you say, a family movie, and then after that, you let the children talk about what they have learnt from that movie, so that when they are even watching, they will have at the back of their mind that they have to learn something positive from what they are watching.
Okay.
So as Christians, let us our devotions.
It's key.
Yes.
All right.
You know, I will give you a personal example.
Please do. I need that. You need that. Yes.
You know, we were having devotions, and my grandchildren, they came for holidays. And when the time that they came, I don't know, we were not, I think we've put some break on this morning devotions. And then one day, my grandson, it's about 10 years or so, then he asked me, Grandma, Adentina, Nansen, monye devotion.
Wow. Grandma, why is it that these days you don't do,
yes,
you don't have your morning
devotions?
Okay.
I was just looking at him. Then he said, I'm going to tell Grandpa. And I said, go and tell Grandpa.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell Grandpa so that we start the morning devotions.
Okay.
And I was looking at him, I said, hey, you. And so I told the grandpa that your grandson is saying that, yes, when they came, they haven't seen us having a morning devotion. So we have to start again.
Okay.
And so we started.
All right.
We started and we are still doing it.
That's nice.
So that small boy, whenever they visited, they saw us having morning devotions. But when they came this time, they saw that for about 3 days, they saw that we were not having. Yes, and he called my attention to it.
So these were the values you had shown them earlier on. And they were living by them.
Yes.
But they realized that you had changed.
Yes.
So they had to ask you, you said it is good. Why have you stopped? Okay. All right. Now, Lawyer, you wanted to add. Please use about a few minutes to wind up as well with your comments and everything.
It's okay. So you see that these virtues that we are talking about, the values are always based on our beliefs, the things that we believe in. So that any group of people, any family, you see, the values that they cherish are based on their beliefs. So that if the family is a Christian family, then you know that, you know how far they will go. If they are not Christians, then you know how and where they will go. So the virtues or the values that we are talking about, they are always based on our beliefs, you see. So the most important thing is that we must ensure and make sure that we get our people to have a set of beliefs. If they know that, you see, you believe this, you believe that, you believe that, then you will know how you hold those beliefs in esteem. And it will tell you the virtues that you have to cultivate. It will also tell you the values that you have to hold. If the belief system is gone, then there are no virtues. There are no values. You see, people who are atheists, who don't have any set of beliefs, you see, they don't have values. You understand? So the values are based on beliefs. What is the family believing in? What are the things that the family members believe in? That will shape their value system.
Okay.
So that is what I want to say. But in all, I will say that, you see, parents, we have a lot of responsibility. You see, we have to mentor our children such that they should grow to become better than we are. You understand? And as I said, children learn through so many complex ways. You see, they learn through the senses. They learn in a way that sometimes you cannot even imagine. So whatever we are doing, we must be very, very careful, because the children they are learning from us, and they are copying us, and they are emulating us. So whether we like it or not, you see, the adage is that okoto and one of my, in the sense that literally a crab will not beget a bird. You see, a crab will not beget a bird. Okoto and one of my, what you are is what your child will become.
Okay. Thank you very much, lawyer. Now, Auntie again, few minutes, your final words.
These values, my mother taught us the value of love and kindness. So it has stayed with us all, the children, and then I have a daughter who is teaching in one of these colleges of education. When I go there, you see these students coming, like they were coming to me when I was also teaching. Because my mother, when you come to our house, you see all sorts of people there. Some from the north, some from... And when whoever comes into the house is accepted. And it has been like that with all of us. Whoever I bring to my house, my children, they will accept that person as, yes. And it has stayed with us. That love, we show love and then kindness. When there is love, so many of these virtues will follow. And so that is how it has been with us. And so what I will say is we are talking about passing on family values, cherished values. The Bible says we should train the child the way he should go. When he is grown, he will not depart from that. So here, the Bible is emphasizing training and then guiding the child in the path that the child should take. So you bring the child up in a way that will help the child to have wisdom and then have morality and then have faith in the Lord. So if we are able to do that, if the child is wise, if the child has good morals and then have faith in the Lord, I think all other things will follow. So I will plead with parents that we have a lot of work to do, but we shouldn't lose sight of the well-being of our children. We should train them like the Bible has said. And when we do that, we seek the help from God. He will help us to train the children in this way that will help them to have wisdom, morals, and then faith in the Lord.
Amen.
Well said, Auntie Agi. Thank you so much, Auntie Agi. Thank you, lawyer. Thank you so much for sharing this knowledge with us. I think we are going to learn more. But what is so, I'm so happy about this verse, Romans 12 verse 2. Romans 12 verse 2 says that, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect.
Amen.
Amen.
So we cannot do this with the word of God.
No.
And parents, we are supposed to imbibe the word of God through our children.
Yes.
By so doing, we are going to have good morals. We are going to have values that we can keep on, pass on to generation to generation to generation. Then we will say that we have lived. Same time next week, we come into your homes with another interesting topic. We thank you for joining us. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.